are programs that you have in that area. So if I'm working with a church, they'll have programs like stop smoking program, depression recovery, different things that are going in the church. And so I just ask them, I say, so have you ever heard of the stop smoking program? No. So it says no, I check no. There's yes or no for every question. Have you ever heard of the depression recovery program? Okay, so I check no. Do you listen to J103? It was a Christian radio station. So no, obviously. So I check no, right? So do you believe in life after death? In what form? What do you think is going to happen when you die? Okay, so whatever question he says, you're just trying to get them to think about spiritual things, right? And then I ask, do you believe there's a God? Okay, so all right. Check yes. Do you believe Jesus will come again in physical form? Do you believe that will be soon? Okay, so I check that. Have you ever read the Bible? How often do you read the Bible? And then I ask last question. If you had the opportunity, would you like to study the Bible? And then I say, well, what I do is we give free Bible studies. If you would like, when you have time, well, actually you shouldn't say that, but I say, well, when would you like to study the Bible more? And usually that takes them back. They're not expecting me to say that. And then I just wait and see what they say, and they'll say, well, and then I'll say, well, what about tomorrow? Or what about another day? And I just set a time. Now they'll say, oh yeah, well Tuesday's fine. And I'll say, well, what time? What about 6? What about 7? And then people say no, but a lot of people say yes. So I write the time down, and then I say, well, thank you for taking the survey. Here's a free gift. I give them whatever literature, and then I say, is it okay if I pray with you? And sometimes they'll say no, and sometimes they'll say yes. They say yes, I pray for them, and then I leave. I remember all my information, and then I come back to that person on that time, and I try to study with them. And I keep coming back to that person for the next 6 months until they tell me, no, don't come back anymore. And so you're investing in a life. This is not just you give some information and then they're going to just become a Christian, right? He's probably not going to, he's a Christian, obviously he answered yes to most things. But if somebody says no to everything and you give them this, they're probably the next time you come around haven't converted yet. I mean, sometimes that happens, but a lot of times it doesn't. And sometimes they never study with you, so you always want to give them something. Right? But he made a commitment. He made a small commitment. In his mind, he said yes to a lot of things. So if I'm not the person the Lord's going to use, the next person that comes along, the Lord will use for him. Right? He doesn't need me to study the Bible. I'm not a need. Right? It's my privilege to study with him. But he doesn't need me to understand the Bible. So those are just some general things that we've done, and it's very successful. You can't go by numbers. It's not about numbers. You're looking for one person. If every family in the church studied the Bible with one person, there'd be a lot of Christians. It's not your job to study with 75 people a week. Just one. If you have one Bible study a week, that's fantastic. And everybody can easily have one Bible study. You just have to try. And you just have to put yourself out there, and it's going to be awkward. You just have to get past it. And even if he doesn't study, he has information. He can learn about God just through this track. And millions of people have done that. From one piece of paper, they become Christians. So does that make sense? That's just how we've done it, and it works. It works everywhere.